Hey guys, Amber Vilhauer here, and today I wanted to give you a really awesome marketing and launch tip related to podcasting. Obviously, when we're launching, whether it's a book or a group coaching program or a product or service, we want to have the best result possible, right? And we can only do so much ourselves. Therefore, it only makes sense to build relationships and then leverage those relationships so that we can scale, right? But how exactly do we go about building relationships, right? It can be a little unnerving. How do we introduce ourselves? What can we do? I think one of the easiest things to get started with is actually trying to go out and get yourself interviewed on as many podcasts as possible. Maybe you have a goal of getting interviewed on 50 podcasts, for example, because here's the thing. People that host podcasts need more people to interview. You are an expert on your topic, right? So it's a match made in heaven. The challenge kind of becomes, how do I get on these podcasts though? Well, it's just going to require a little bit of due diligence. Honestly, probably the easiest thing to do, and a little hack that I have, is I'll go into Google and I will research like top 50 relationship podcasts in this year. And what will happen is you'll see all of these articles that will feature the top 50 podcasts this year in this industry. So now you can go straight to the source, and usually those articles have links to outside websites for that actual podcast. From there, you simply go to the podcast website. Now, here's a step that most people might not think of. Take a look around. See the types of topics that they are talking about and what makes them tick and what makes them not tick, right? You can usually tell by even listening to one or two podcasts. You can try to find something that you have in common with the host, some reason why you would be a great fit for their podcast. The next step is simply to go to their contact page and send a really warm, not templated, boring, dry email, but a really warm email saying, hey, John, I came across your website. This is who I am and what I do. And I have to say, I've been following your podcast, and I love that you take this specific approach, or that you ask these questions, or that you make your listeners feel this way. That's going to signal something to the podcast host, getting them to see how you are different, that you actually took the time to get to know them instead of just knocking on their door because you need something. It shows to them that you actually want to do something significant with them, that you want to make a bigger impact, that you understand their why. Do you think that's going to help you stand out and get the interview? Absolutely. So literally, it's a matter of going into Google, typing in what are the best podcasts in your industry, doing a little bit of research to find out what you have in common with the host, send a contact inquiry on their contact form. And again, these podcast hosts need people to interview. So as long as you've done a good job in your introduction, they should say, sure, come on and let's do the interview. Now, in order to really ensure a successful relationship, it's just best practice that you are really prepared for your podcast interview, show up on time, think about your answers in advance, think about your teaching points in advance, be really warm and personable to the host before things get started. Always send a thank you after the podcast interview. And really, hey, it was great meeting you. I love that we have X in common. Be sure to let me know when the podcast is available. And then the next step is to make sure that you're promoting that podcast throughout your social media channels, perhaps to your email list. You could add that podcast episode to a press page on your website where you have a compilation of all of the interviews that you've been featured on, which is great for building credibility and authority in your industry. And so that's kind of the complete process. If you were to follow that for 50 different podcasts, imagine the relationships that you would build with the host and leveraging their communities that they've spent time building back into your own community. So being interviewed on podcasts accomplishes several goals. It helps to build your credibility and authority. Those podcast episodes are being ranked in Google's search engine and sometimes in YouTube if it's a video-based podcast. Therefore, it's actually improving your overall search engine rankings, getting you more exposure. You get to leverage their communities back into your own. It's a fast way to scale, you guys, and leverage those relationships to support your next book launch. I hope you found this tip helpful.
So there's your tip, and here's your team, AJ, Mike, and Amber. And if you want to dig deeper into that tip, go to AuthorUpLive.com right now.